Welcome back to another day in the arena, guys. This is Untap Your Go, and I'm going back to standard for a little bit. So today we're playing blue-white Flyers, and this is a deck that honestly was just the first deck that came to mind when I decided to play standard again, because I haven't played standard in a very long time, and I feel like it's not right to my viewers who have subscribed very early on, considering that that's mostly what I played. So um, I feel like I should try to balance it out more, I guess. So not be as heavy and historic, but I do love the format. So and I know I have some viewers for the format, but I think moving forward, I'm gonna try to balance it out a little bit and try to give like a split between product openings and like brawl, historic, standard. Just try to bounce around a little bit so I can kind of feed a lot of people's itch as far as magic as far as magic goes. So let's dive right into the deck. Mono white or blue white Flyers. This is all Flyers. Everything in the deck is flying, obviously. We have all 4 copies of Watcher of the Spheres. This is going to reduce the cost of all the Flyers. This is very important, so this is why we're maxing out on all 4 copies. It also gets buffed whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under our control, which is cool, but it only lasts for a turn, so it's not like super relevant. Then we have 2 copies of Skycat Sovereign. This is our other 2-drop. It's a 1/1 with flying, but it gets 1/1 for each other creature with flying, and it's an engine. It can create 1/1s on its own, so this is pretty cool, and it can flood the board, and this will get pumped from it. This will get bigger from it, and everything else is just going to benefit overall from having all those tokens. In the 1-drop slot, there's no good flying 1-drops in this format right now, besides like maybe um, the 1-mana rogue. I don't even know its name. I can't even remember its name. The one you can sacrifice to like draw a card, and it's not really what this deck wants to do. So I don't really think it's worth further strategy. But this card isn't terrible. It's a 1-mana 1/1 with flying. We can kick it for 2 and a white, so 4 total. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, tap up to 2 target creatures. So this could be really important, especially later on in the game. So we don't mind top decking this because, on a crucial turn where we need to like get some damage in to kill our opponent, kill a planeswalker, whatever, we can tap our opponent's creatures. We're also playing 4 copies of Lofty Denial because, again, since everything in the deck is flying, this is turned on as early as turn 1 with the Kitesail Cleric, so we can play this turn 2 and counter anything basically until like turn 5, basically. And then getting into the 3-drops, we have 2 copies of Arcane of Emeria. We also have a few copies in the sideboard, I believe. This is a 3-mana 2/3 with flying. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. That part really sucks because that affects us because we can play a lot of spells in the turn, especially later on in the game. But it's really important to slow down our opponents, and that's just like way more beneficial. And then the other clause, non-basic lands your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. So this is really cool. It's most likely going to get replaced by the new 3-mana drop, the 3-mana 3/3 that like makes the snow basics and snow permanents and stuff come into play tapped. That's probably going to be more important. But as of right now, for this current standard, this is where it's at. Then we're playing 4 copies of Winged Words. This is going to draw us 2 cards, and then it's going to cost 1 mana less if we control a creature with flying, and that's going to happen very often. So for 2 mana to draw 2, that's pretty good, even at sorcery speed. We're playing 2 copies of Brazen Borrower to be able to bounce our opponent's permanents, any non-land permanent, and we can flash it in to have a 3-mana 3/1 with flying. Can only block creatures with flying, which is why we're not playing all 4 copies. I don't like that clause. I think it's really awkward in a lot of matchups, but it's really good where it is good. We're playing 4 copies of Linvala, Shield of Seagate, and we do not care that this is a legendary because we really like that sacrifice clause where we can sacrifice it to give our creatures hexproof and indestructible. Outside of like Extinction Event, there's not a whole lot of things that deal with this or prevent it from happening. And if it is like a Banishing Light or some other form of exile targeted removal, you can just give your creatures hexproof. And then on the combat, we do actually have enough to be able to trigger a full party. It's very slow and clunky, but we do have the opportunity to do so. So that's also a thing to consider. We have 2 copies of Legion Angel, 2 in the main, 2 in the sideboard. The even split to be able to cast them and search out of the sideboard. We're playing all 4 copies of Angel of Destiny. This one I'm just playing around with, but I actually think it's better than people are giving it credit for right now. 5-mana 2/6 with flying and double strike. It blocks a ton in the air right now, and having double strike and gaining life is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. It's only when it deals damage to a player, but that applies to all of your creatures. And then it just has the random clause of winning you the game if you attack your opponent, and you have at least 15 or more life than your starting life total. Getting up to 35 is not that hard. If we play this and have all of our Flyers out, That'll happen very frequently, and it's just going to help get our life total back up, especially against aggressive matchups. Then we're playing 2 copies of Elspeth Conquers Death against the control matchups and other various things that have permanence 3 or greater. It also buys back all of our permanents, like our planes. We're not playing any planeswalkers, but it buys back all of our creatures, like our Dream Trawlers, which is cool, our Linvalas, which is great because we can rebuy on the sacrifice effect. And then it also has the non-creature spells your opponents control, costs 2 more to cast until your next turn. That's crazy. It slows down your opponents a ton, and it really messes up any chance of interaction that they have. So, like, against control, this is just a slam dunk, obviously. Then we're playing 2 copies of Dream Trawler at the very top end. This card is just bananas. Nobody's playing it, and I don't know why. You can discard cards to give it hexproof until end of turn. You tap it, but it has flying, lifelink. Whenever you draw a card, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and it draws you a card when it attacks. So it's always a 5/5 if it gets to the attack step on your turn. And any other draw spells that you have on top of that, which is like Winged Words, I guess, is the only other card in our options to do so. It's still going to get us a bunch of life back, and it can very easily swing games on its own. Then in the mana base, Mix of Basics, Temple of Enlightenment. We're only playing 2 copies because I don't really like this card too much. I'd rather just be playing more copies of Rogan Triumph if I could play more than 4 copies. But this is what I'm playing in the mana base to be able to cycle for draw and everything. In the sideboard, Glass Casket, 3 copies against aggressive matchups, 4 copies of Hushbringer. You do not want to bring this in against Kroxa or Uro. Never do that. It's just not worth it. But any other effect like Rakdos Sacrifice, I mean, I guess you could use it for Kroxa against like Rakdos Sacrifice, but be mindful of Kroxa because that's just going to let them play a 2-mana 6/6 for free. But against like their death triggers and everything, it's very cool. 2 more copies of Archon of Emera to be able to slow down our opponents some more, especially against like control and everything. The 2 copies of Legion Angel to be able to tutor out of the sideboard. 2 more copies of Elspeth Conquers Death against control, and 2 more copies of Dream Trawler against control. Alright, that's it for the intro. Let's take this into some gameplay and see how we do with the blue-white Flyers. Leave a like on today's video if you enjoy it, and please hit the subscribe and the bell for future videos, and let's take it in the arena, guys. Alright, so we are on the play, and our opening hand is not bad, actually. If this was an untapped planes, this would be a slam dunk, but we're going to lead off with a Triumph just so we have our colors. Then we can play the Kitesail Cleric, or we'll probably play the Watcher of the Spheres, honestly, and then a turn 3 Legion Angel doesn't seem bad. Up against... is it mono red? Ooh. Okay, so this is probably going to suck. Our opponent's most likely going to have some form of targeted removal. Like, they're playing this, so they're probably playing Shock, Spikefield Hazards, Thundering Rebukes, maybe. But plenty of ways. Shredded Sails. Oh, God. Our first game, somebody who mainboards anti-flying? Oh, no. I don't think we want that. We'll probably draw into more lands soon anyway. Let's try and play our other Watcher of the Spheres, and then we can play a turn 3 Legion Angel. Yep. That's a bummer. Flame Spill for our opponent. Alright, so another land's not terrible. We're gonna play our Legion Angel though. Our opponent's gonna have, I'm sure our opponent's gonna have a hard time dealing with these. Like, they're gonna run out of removal eventually. They're just spending all their turns doing that. Okay. I got another one on deck. And then if we can draw more lands, I will play this Dream Trawler. I probably shouldn't discard the other land, I guess. Alright, so we drew into a 5th land. Still not another white source. We're not worried about this Kitesail Clerics right now. We can probably hold on to these and tap down our opponent's creatures later on. Alright, opponent with another removal spell. That's okay. We still get the trigger, and that's our last one, but man, this card packs a lot of value, guys. Like, it's pretty good. Relic Robber for our opponent. That's really strong. If we can just draw a land, this Dream Trawler is gonna save us. Alright, we take a damage down to 11. How do we play this? So we can kite sail cleric. Like, we can play both of the kite sails and then hold up a lofty denial for whatever they try to target. Then they can both double block the relic robber because that'll most likely kill us. I feel like we have to do that. Sure. Opponent's holding up priority for something. Like, they have some form of, they probably have another Scorching Dragonfire or a Shock or something. Gonna attack with the 0-1 to send a message. Mm-hmm. Alright, straight to combat for our opponent. And they have a Castle Embreth that just pumps the power, so that's not going to save it. And then we'll just counter whatever they play. Okay. Fair enough. Another Blister Split. Blister Spit. Okay, so they have the mana to counter, or to pay the Lofty Denial, so we have to hold this. Alright, take another damage. Not a land, but a pretty good card. And I mean, what can our opponent have that can kill that? I'm gonna attack with it every turn, just in case, you know? Your opponent might block it. It's on a whim. But yeah, this Angel of Destiny, like I said earlier, it's definitely gonna buy us some time. It's a brick wall. I mean, deals 4 damage. It's got double strike. It's a 2/6. Like, what is your opponent gonna do? Trying to think what our opponent can even have here. Embercleave, but that doesn't actually do anything. Well, I mean, he could Embercleave and it untaps the Blister Spits, and then he can do... Okay. Alright, so let's see. Down to 7. Down to 6. Oh, that's... Okay. That's not super bad. Okay. So I'm down to 3. Down to 2. Arcane of Emeria is not bad either. It allows us to play a creature on board and also hold up a counterspell. And we're going to go ahead and attack and gain the 4 here. We do not care that our opponent gains any life. Yep. So opponent's reading it. He may just give up, maybe. Blue-white Flyers, everybody. With the comeback. Alright, we go down to 5. It's definitely game over. We're going to attack with the 0-1 again. Block it. Ah, you suck. Alright, we're down to 4. So, everybody gains 6. Back up to 10. And then we can play Dream Trawler, and that should like solidify this for sure. Don't even need to hold up the Lofty Denial at this point. Good game, opponent. This seems like a good hand. We just have to rely on hitting our land drops. but if we do, we're in good shape. We'll lead off with the Triumph, same as last game. Okay, opponent reveals a plains, so they're multicolored. We found our land drop. I think we hold up the Watcher of the Spheres, or we play the Watcher of the Spheres. We can hold up the Lofty Denial next turn, or we can play the Archon. That would have been pretty nice to get countered, right? So I guess since we drew into the Triome, we'll play that, and then we'll just and we're not going to be blocking this Luminarch Aspirant anytime soon, so let's just hold up the Lofty Denial against whatever they try to counter, or cast, I mean. Seems like a pretty good one to counter. Next turn we have Archon of Emeria and Linvala. So we're going to play Linvala first. And play Archon. And get in them beats. Alright, so we're in pretty good shape. If we draw a land, we can play Dream Trawler thanks to the Watcher. And there's a Conclave Mentor. That's pretty scary. Okay. Alright, let's see what he attacks with. If he attacks with the Aspirant, I'm blocking it. All day. Alright, opponent decides not to attack. Makes sense. We have our Dream Trawler, that's pretty cool. How do we want to play it? So we could attack with everything. What do we want to hold up to block? It's really the question. Actually, I don't think it matters. I think we just get our opponent dead. Put them down to 7, play Dream Trawler, they're dead next turn. Should play the Dream Trawler first, in hindsight, but that's irrelevant. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give my creatures indestructible. Can't cast any more spells this turn, and he scoops. Good game. Into Diamond, everybody. What? Alright, going into game 3 up against Horton, and our opening hand is actually really good if we just had a blue source. I'm gonna mulligan. And this is better. We'll drop one of the planes, lead off with the Triumph, and then the Watcher into Wingwords. Try to find some stuff. Alright, so first game in Diamond. Too bad the season's about to end in like 5 days. Alright. So, opponent's got blue mana open. Well, let's test the waters. Not a counterspell. Okay. Well, gave him a target, made him use his mana. Has the same setup, I guess. Just gonna keep playing the Watchers. Alright, Castle Vantress for our opponent so they can scry later on. Ooh, okay, opponent. I see you. I am okay with this. Alright, well, we're gonna play this tapped. Go ahead and play our other Watcher of the Spheres. Get in for 3. So ironically, in game 3, we're just playing against the same deck that we're playing. So that's cool. Seems to happen a lot. Every time I record a video, I always get paired up against something similar to what I'm playing. Theirs could be more control-y. Like, who knows? They're in blue-white just like we are, but they have more. They might have more Brazen Borrowers and more Archons in the main board. It's 5 mana. They probably have a Lofty Denial. And they can flash in their Brazen Borrowers. I think we try to play this. And it sticks. Okay. So we can attack with the Watchers. We're going to lose one to the Brazen Borrower. I feel like it's better off just saving them as blockers. Okay, here's the Brazen Borrower. So if the Skycat Sovereign sticks around for like even a turn, we're just gonna start going wide. And there's also the chance we can draw into a Dream Trawler and just play one for 4. So I could actually kick the Kitesail Cleric and tap down their creatures. That would test the water to see if they have a counter spell. I mean, they're gonna hold up. They're gonna hold up priority with the castles, so it's gonna be really hard to play around whether or not they have counter magic or not. Or I can just save up the Skycat mana. I feel like that's the better play right now. I'm just gonna pass it up. I feel like our opponent has another Brazen Borrower in hand. Wow, they didn't even activate a castle or anything. Did I hesitate long enough to keep them like off focus and then they just completely forgot to do their end of turn stuff? Because if that's the case, that's a really strong strategy. Alright, Crawling Barrens for our opponent. Can't forget that's there. Archon of Sun's Grace. Okay. Go ahead and make a dude. Temple of Enlightenment. Legion Angel is pretty good. 2 mana Legion Angels. I could see that. Go ahead and do that. And we're going to play Linvala. Going to go ahead and attack with these 3. And then if our opponent wants to block and kill our Watchers, we're going to sacrifice the Linvala. Ooh, and our opponent gives us the Archon of Emeria. Right? Alright, so I can either lose Linvala or lose both of the Watchers. I think I'm just going to lose the Linvala. We're going to choose Indestructible. And we still have mana to play more spells. That's fair. We're actually going to hold on to this Kitesail Cleric because then we can tap down our opponent's creatures, assuming they do not have another Archon. Well, that feels really bad. That sucks. I wish I held up the Linvala now, but... Alright, on the bright side, we can try to start slamming down creatures. I feel like our opponent has counter magic. So... yeah, let's play the Legion Angel. It sticks. It's good enough. If it gets dealt with, it gets dealt with. We're going to go ahead and pass and hold up a Brazen Borrower. Just start beating down for 4. Our opponent's not activating anything. It's freaking me out. It's really freaking me out. They're not activating their castles, their crawling barons. I'm just super confused. In Diamond, this doesn't... I guess we'll go ahead and bounce that anyway, just so we use our mana. I don't know. Opponent's making questionable plays. It's making me make questionable plays. Alright, so we got another Legion Angel, so we might as well play it. Didn't hit a land. Didn't hit an untapped land. Should say. Can't sacrifice this. 3, 6. We already have the mana for... Might as well just hold on to it. We can cycle it later. Alright, our non-creature spells are going to cost less. Or cost more, I mean. Oh my god, another one? Jeez. What do they get back? They can get back their Arcan, both their Arcans and their Brazen Borrowers. Alright. Definitely in a lot of trouble. Drew a land. You love to see it. So we're going to cycle. We had all 4 triumphs this game, by the way. Just want to make note of that. So we can actually play the Watcher and the Brazen Borrower later on, so we'll do that. It dodges their Elspeth Conquers Death. So if they draw a 3rd one in a row by any chance, we'll be safe. They get back their Arcan, so that sucks, because they're going to have all the lifelink and stuff. Faith's Fetters. Bro. Okay. Well, might as well play this. Have it out on board. It's there. He's a thing. Drawing dead. I'm pretty sure we're out of Legion Angels. Pretty sure. And we can still hold this up. It's not really going to matter right now. Alright, now we're back to only being able to play 1 spell a turn. Castle Vantress. Now that's just now they're just activating at like such a weird time. Like this opponent just has me so messed up mentally. I'm emotionally damaged playing this game. Drew a land again. Well, our opponent's just like establishing so much card advantage right now, and we're doing nothing. So, all right, we'll pass it up. I feel like this one's gonna be a loss. We do not have really any interaction besides another Brazen Borrower. Omen of the Sun gets 3 dudes. That's crazy. Ton of life. I assume our opponent plays Urian. So I feel like they're going to try to... Well, I guess Urian actually is kind of bad for this setup. Who knows? So when everyone enters the battlefield, I don't really... I don't know what to do. what do we do in this situation? These creatures outscale me. I guess we just pass. We can hold up the Brazen Borrower. Skyclave Apparition. Okay. I'm gonna chalk that one up to a loss, I think. There's really no way we were coming back from that. Either way, good game. Alright, we get one more chance or we're just knocked right back down to platinum, and I really don't want to do that, so... this hand seems better. It's a little bit slow, though. I guess we'll bottom the Angel of Destiny. That's the one drop I was talking about earlier that I could have played in this deck. I'm not really a fan of it. I mean, it's good, it's just not great for our strategy. Alright, well, let's pass it up. I mean, dude, you know... This guy. The only thing he gets is my Lofty Denial. So... Brazen Borrower, the Soaring Thought Thief. Graveyard's at 4. It's going to be at 5. And this needs it to be what? 7? Okay, that sucks. Can flash in the Brazen Borrower, but I feel like we just play the Limbala. Force our opponent to have to deal with it. Okay. Well, that gets them down to 7. So they get to just start chunking us for 5. Sure. Ay vey. Okay. 5, 8, 9. So we're taking 9. We're going down to 3. I can flash in the Brazen Borrower on their turn. Do I use it to block? I can only block the 1/1. It's not profitable to block the Vantress Gargoyle. I can also flash it in and then drop the Angel of Destiny and gain 3 life back, which is okay. Giving the rogues a buff also definitely doesn't help. So it would be 2, 6, 11. Yeah, so okay. Go ahead and flash this in. So I can block the 5/4. Doesn't do much. Down to 3. Skycat Sovereign's not terrible. Let's play out our Angel of Destiny. Let's just hope our opponent doesn't have an immediate answer for it. And of course they do. Good game. Diamond in the rough. This shit is rough and diamond. Back. Oh no, we're still not down to platinum. Cool. Alright, we are on the play. Angel of Destiny deck. We're not going to keep that hand. This hand is way better. Let's just bottom one of the Kitesail free clerics, I mean. Yes. Yes, we want that. Up against Sir Dragon X. Selfless Savior. Why would you even ask me if I want to kick it? I don't have the mana. Glass Casket. Alright. Deal with that. Yeah, I guess this is how people win in Standard. Standard is very stale. Going to play Winged Words, draw 2. Didn't hit a land, of course, because Arena wants to me entirely when I'm in a new rank. Hey, would you look at that? We actually drew a land. Guess a player, a watcher of the spheres. And hold up the Lofty Denial for the inevitable Glass Casket or Heliod. Or that. Okay, another Selfless Savior. I'm like so triggered because like I feel like I was doing super good all the way up until I got to Diamond, and then the last 2 games I just flooded out, so it's like the game intentionally wants me to lose. And all I'm trying to do is build up my ranks and have fun. We did not hit an Elspeth or mana for Elspeth Conquers Death, not that they have any 3-drops to worry about necessarily. But I think we play this Grower Skycat Sovereign a little bit. And before they exile our creature, we're going to attack for 4. Another Skyclave Apparition. You know, it's like, damn, this guy's packing a lot of removal. Mono whites seems pretty strong actually. Might give this a try since we played White Weenie on the channel before. All right, it's player Linvala. Chunk you down for 3. Speaker of the Heavens. All right, so they're not gaining enough life right now that it's a threat, but that's going to be a problem very soon if we don't kill our opponent sooner. All right, opponent chooses to attack for 9. Does not make any difference. I thought they were really about to sacrifice their Selfless Savior to give them an Indestructible. That would have been great. Alright. Play it tapped. And we're just going to keep... Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and do that and make a dude. Do this all main phase. Welcome back to the wrap up, everybody. If you made it this far, thank you for watching as always. And today we went 3-2 and we made it to Diamond. And even though I got very triggered because I was losing, we still made it and we're still in Diamond as the end of recording this video. So I'm pretty happy about that, very excited. Despite the season ending very soon, it still means a lot to get to Diamond, and hopefully next season I can get to Mythic. That would be really cool. So thanks for watching. As always, leave a like on today's video if you enjoyed it, subscribe and hit the bell so you can keep up to date with future videos and everything like that. And I'm really excited to dive back into Standard. Kaldheim's right around the corner, and you best believe that I'm already ready for it. So we're going to hit the lab with Standard and Historic and new Kaldheim cards, and just it's going to be a blast. So stay tuned for that, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.